What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the D League podcast. This podcast is all about personal development. If you're the type of person that wants to grow and go from point A, where you are, to point B, where you want to go, this podcast is for you.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 2 of the D League podcast, and we're discovering and developing your why. On this episode, I'm going to be talking about the main things that contribute to not having a why, and that's going to be complaining, judging, relaxing, and worrying. If you don't want to live the life that you're currently living, you have to have a reason to change the way that you're living. All right, guys, so on this episode of the series, starting with why, developing your why, I want to ask you, why are you so casual? And before I get into the points that I talked about in the intro, I really want to just give you a disclaimer. I ask myself these same exact questions because, to be truthful, I struggle with them, and most people just aren't willing. They're either not self-aware or not willing to ask themselves the honest question. And like I said in the last episode, if you haven't listened to it, I would suggest you go back. This is so important when it comes to advancing and making progress in life in any area, whether it's your business, family, marriage, relationships, money. You have to become self-aware. Start with where you are with what you have and discover, why is this happening to me? Why am I so casual about my life? Why am I so casual about my business? Why am I so casual about my relationship? There's a difference between having peace in the storm and then just being negligent and not caring enough or not having a sense of urgency. And I really think it boils down to these 4 areas. And number 1 is going to be complaining. Things are not fair. That is true, and it always has been true. Life is not fair. There are things that will happen that we can't control. There are going to be things that happen for other people, and we may feel like, hey, rightfully so, they should not deserve what they have. But complaining about the circumstances or why something's happened for another person and not you is probably contributing to you not getting to where you want to be because you're wasting your time worrying about somebody else. The second thing is going to be relaxing. Work 6 days. Even God rested on the 7th day. But being so casual and laid back during times where you could be building your business, working on your relationship, developing new relationships, learning about money, advancing your life. Why are you so casual about just hanging out? Just not having any sense of urgency when your life looks the way that it does and you aren't happy with it. Judging others. Again, this is something that I've struggled with, but judging others based on what they're doing while you should be worrying about what you're doing. And worrying. Lastly, worrying. Worrying does not change anything. The circumstances that have happened, you can't change them. We can only do what we can right now in this moment. And we can't even affect, like, what we do right now affects the future. We can't change the past. Nothing that we do right now will affect the past. So why are we worrying about things that have already happened? And another disclaimer, I will be the first one to say that I am affected by things that happen that are outside of my control, but how I respond to those things are most important. So I want to also say that everybody has something to live for. If you say, well, I don't feel like I have a purpose, I don't feel like there is a reason for me to live. First of all, I just want to say that you do have a reason to live, even if it's just the fact that you beat the odds of even being a human being. The chances of you living the life that you live, you were handpicked and set apart to live the life that you live right now. And that is a reason to live. So why would we start developing our why if we don't feel like we have something to live for? But I'm here to tell you today that you do have something to live for. If you've thought about taking your life, if you've thought about not having a reason to move forward, if you've thought about not even waking up today, you have a purpose. There's somebody that can change their life by the story that you have. And this podcast is all about developing and growing and becoming a better version of ourselves. You can be better, and you have something to offer this world. And the fact that you're being casual, we are being casual about where we are in our life. If you have not hit your goal, if you say that you want to live a certain type of life, if you say that you want to build a certain type of business, if you say that you want a certain type of marriage, if you say that there are things that you want in life and you desire them, why are you being so casual? The first thing that you need to do, like I said in the very first episode, is audibly ask yourself, why am I here? Why am I in this position that I'm in right now? And take responsibility for the fact that everything that you did, that you've done, has led you to where you are right now. So when you write it down and you figure out how you got to where you are and take inventory and responsibility of it, you start to realize that it's really on you. It's all on you. And because you got yourself in the situation that you're in, whether it's good or bad, your success is your fault and your failures are your fault. And once you realize what got you to the success that you have, just do more of what made you successful. Once you realize what's gotten you where you are that you don't desire, stop doing that. The best way to get out of a hole is to stop digging. But we have to take accountability for our actions. And once you write it down, what's the best way to get out of this situation? Everything we need is already inside of us. So when I look at a situation or a time in my life, I can go back and pinpoint certain times where I know I was not doing the things that I was supposed to do to get me where I wanted to go. And in the business of real estate, most real estate agents, I get this DM all the time, more times than not. And it's, how do I get started in real estate? And how do I sell more luxury homes? If you've ever sold one luxury home, all you would have to do is do everything that you did to get that luxury home more often. It's not complex. Real estate agents have call reluctance. Salespeople in general have call reluctance. Pick the phone and talk to more people. Whether you're closing deals right now or not, both are your fault. And once we realize that we're just being too lackadaisical, we're being too casual about the things that are important to us because we don't make them important enough. I love what Inky Johnson says. He says that people don't burn out because of what they do. People burn out because they forget why they do what they do. If you don't know why you're doing it, you probably won't do the things that are required for you to get to where you need to go because you don't have big enough reasons. And I love Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why. And the reason that I'm in this series is because I actually had to go back to that. There are two things that I believe really move a man: pain and discomfort, and comfort itself. Comfort will change you to a point where you may get to a point where you say, man, I'm good. And that is the beginning of your demise. If we're not growing, we're decaying. There's never a point where we're going to stay even keel, where we feel like we've arrived and things are just good. That's why you see so many people, whether they're decabillionaires or multimillionaires, and they end up killing themselves early. They end up losing their family. They end up just going off the deep end because they got to a point and they had nothing. They forgot why they were doing what they were doing because the destination was the thing that they were seeking. And the journey itself is a continuous progression of developing the areas of your life that challenge you the most. I genuinely believe that whether I'm a real estate agent, a salesperson, a business owner, it doesn't matter, a father, a husband, those areas of my life that I put time and attention to need to continuously be developed. I need to develop an above average attitude towards my wife, towards my kids, towards my business, towards my friends, towards money, towards God, towards every single area of my life that is important to me. I need to develop character, integrity, skill, values, principles, and so do you. I would encourage you to look at the areas that you're complaining, look at the areas that you're too relaxed, look at the areas where you're judging other people, and then look at the things that you're worried about. If you wake up in the morning and you're worried about money, if you're worried about your spouse, if you're worried about your insecurities, if you're worried about your children, if you're worried about your job security or your business, if you're worried about your relationship with God, if you feel like you've walked away, there are a number of things that you can find on the internet to solve all of those problems. You want to make more money, you can make more money. You can do all these things are fixable. You just have to have a reason why you want to fix them. And this series is all about finding and developing the reason why we do what we do so that we can go closer, draw nearer to the direction that we want to go. If there isn't a path that you can see, if there's nobody that you can turn left and right to, I want you to know everything that you need is already inside of you. God has already placed it inside of you. You just have to be willing to take that key that you already have, the prison that you've placed yourself in, reach your arm outside of that prison and unlock it because you have the key. You are the key, but you have to be honest with yourself and ask yourself those questions. If this episode has been helpful, feel free to share it with somebody, play it on repeat, and don't forget to drop a review for my people on YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next episode of 7 Minutes with Sam on the D-League podcast.